one likes a braggart. No one likes a braggart, Edward. That's it. My mom would say. No one likes a braggart. Ronnie Lodi and I used to play AC-Doocy card game on Friday nights. He would come over my house on Morgan Avenue. Charlie Spina came over. I don't think Pat Horgan, I swear, I think he was writing a song with Peter. I don't remember him coming to these little Friday night things. But there we are. How old? 18, 19 years old. And it's a small room. It's like a 10 by 10, 8 by 8 kind of room. And but the heat is on. It feels great. My mom is making us snacks, putting them in there. Got the door shut. We're having cocktails. We're doing what we want, having a good time, and we're playing small time AC-Doocy, betting. If you don't know how the game is played, I want to tell you about the coolest cat I know. It's like blackjack. You deal out 2 cards, and the third card has to come in between the numerical count of the first 2. So if you put out a 3 and you put out an 8, then you need a 4, a 5, a 6, or a 7. That's what you're betting on. You're betting on the third card coming out in between. Now, why is it called AC-Doocy? Because if you get an ace and a deuce, the way it's played, the ace is the highest card and the lowest card, then you have the greatest odds of winning. Everybody to the show. To the show. The Ed Till Show. Ed Till's got all the news and stories. You can't. If you're a kid and you like to gamble, Ben Affleck is a big gambler now, and he's so good at it that he's not allowed. I understand. Everything's great. Ben Affleck is the new male prototype for America. His movies are all... he has a new movie, Gone Girl. It's nominated. Sarah Silverman, a brilliant comedian making trouble. You can't get 2 words out of the media on her this week. But Ben Affleck, oh God, it's like Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and Marcello Mastroianni and Sidney Poitier, and they're all in Meryl Streep. It's all in the room in one person. The Ed Till Show. Are you? Yeah. Really? Ben Affleck has got the talent of all those different people? You really? Ed Till. Yes, Ben Affleck. Come on, everybody. The guy who was in Come on, everybody, Ed Till. Pearl Harbor. Hey, I like Pearl Harbor, and I like what's the one where the nuclear weapon goes off? Worse Than Ever, or The Unimaginable Bomb, or whatever. Oh no, that was The Review. Oh, jeez. You know why I'm funny? Because it's Wednesday. I'm always extra funny on Wednesday. Ah, Jesus, here we go. It's another mass murder.
Is now back open.
The casino. Guy jumps on the bus, starts shooting people on the casino bus. I mean, how miserable are people on a casino bus to begin with? This is what their life has come to. They're riding on a bus to get to a card game. Ties right into me and Ronnie Lodi. So we start playing, and in blackjack or AC-Doocy, those are the 2 games that you can choose at this card game. Deck comes to you. The deck revolves, right? Finish out a deck of cards. The deck goes to the next guy, and we're all playing the same stakes. Nickel, dime. Nickel, dime. Yeah. Initial bet, a nickel. You want to be a big spender, a dime. We're playing nickel, dime. Ed Till. You may not like what he says, Ed Till, but he'll say it anyway, Ed Till. He's the best guy. It's true, though. It makes you laugh. It's making me laugh. But that's what's good about it. It's a good laugh. Using me as a conflict resolution officer in whatever conflict you're involved in, is the most economical, commonsensical, thought out, and deeply incited decision you're ever going to get. Now, you don't even have to follow me. What if you just get my stuff, right? My resolution, and then, when you think about it, you take a little bit of column A, a little bit from column B, and you build a hybrid, an amalgam. Forget a hybrid, that's two. Make an amalgam of all of the wisdom, both that I impart to you, and then the wisdom that I trigger in you. I'll give you some of my own wisdom, but if that incites your wisdom, if that ignites your explosive revelations inside yourself, then of course it's worth it. That's what I do. I'm a catalyst. Oh my God, it's taken me until I'm 58 years old. It's taken all this time. You better watch out. The man's gotta strip you bare. Listen to every theme song that we run. Every imaging, all this stuff we've been running for years. Do you know why? Because it's true. What do you think, you're going to change the Coca-Cola recipe? You don't do it. Ed Till, professional, conflict resolution, catalyst, inspirationalist. There's a word. You get your Mojane working. If you're a girl, you get your Mojane working, not your mojo. Boy, that's incredible. Now, so far in the news, it's been busy already today. This is we're not on some slow boat to China, you know. Ed Till.
It's the Ed Till Show. Ed Till Show. It's time for the Ed Till Show. Come on, everybody, listen to the Ed Till Show. You may not like what he has to say, but he's gonna say it anyway.
We do determine what areas RACs can look at. They have to achieve, sort of get permission from a board at CMS to before they enter into any particular audit area.
The sharpest tongue in this Horgan town. Ed Till.
We're going back again to these notions of vicious circles, of vicious cycles. Now, what you see here is the source of transmission at the community, hospital, and burial level. And these are where the transmission occurs. At community, when you have patients, when you're trying to identify them, identify sick people, bring surveillance in, and try to transport them. At the hospital level itself, you do the screening, you do the sorting, and then you have the patient care. So there's exposure both to other patients and family members as well as to the hospital staff. And then burial, where, again, intensive context. Now, I think it's worth saying a word about burial. Burials, funerals are important in every society. They take a special place in West African society and practice, not just because of what happens with inheritance and dignity for the dead, but it's also the approaches involve often very long funerals. Often it's the next of kin who are expected to wash the body. Other people will touch the body many times, wash in a common pot, and it's common to have prolonged funerals that may last all night or all day, and it's a critical and central part of what brings the community together. So we're asking for some major behavior change. And what he's noticed here is that there's an epidemiologic component around identification, context, taking care of patient, and again, contacts during the burial, and there's an important human behavioral component, as he's called it. And what we're seeing here is this disempowerment, this invasive approach that reinforces fear. It's stigmatizing survivors, and that is reinforcing the bad sides of the epidemiologic control and the care at all three levels, the community, hospital, and burial. And so their notion, again, of how it has worked successfully in Congo is basically by combining the human behavioral and the epidemiologic aspects, as well as the clinical aspects at the community, hospital, and burial, where you try to reinforce ownership of the fight, integrate survivals, provide high quality of care for for survival and dignified death, and of course dignified burial. And this is sort of the notion that's trying to be reinforced. And I have to say that the Congolese have lots of experience in doing this, and they certainly are calm in the face of the storm, but a lot of this knowledge is tacit knowledge, and so a lot of the role that we have played at Hopkins is to try to formalize that knowledge in a way it can be extended and reinforced and put in a way that we can actually get it implemented further in West Africa. And so part of this notion was around putting together what the CCC concept is, the Community Care Center concept. This is a lot of text here. I intended to show it differently, but the core is really this multidisciplinary team that's able to act in a local area, working in a defined area, that combines strategies at all three levels of the community, hospital, and burial. It depends on trained, paid workers and paid volunteers. And then, of course, there's a whole series of standard operating procedures that we're working with them and trying to operationalize around ways of minimizing exposure to community members as well as protect health workers, providing the types of facilities to screen patient in separate areas, as well as having its own lab and outreach services and logistics. So it's a package that has to come together, and this is basically trying to codify the response that they've done in Congo. Now, the concept has been evolving in Liberia. Originally, they were basically having the CCC as being a center that would later transport to hospitals, and they realized with the Congo experience, we will actually try and have this as a place where you can take care of patients. It's also, they originally were plans to use community members.
So that's what I would do. I give them a 10-minute consultation, right? A serious consultation. I don't want to be chit-chatting. I want to know what's up, bro. Just the facts, ma'am. Then we get down. Then come the wisdom. I give them a wisdom shot. Dr. Ed, I need a wisdom shot. I'm sorry, I have a wisdom tooth problem? No, I need some wisdom, yo. Oh, boy. Well, I do all I can. And then the stuff I can't do, I do that also, yeah? That's the bad part, right?
You decide to be something, you can be it.
The Starcom Radio Network.
The Ed Till Show! That's what I say.
What is hip? Tell me, if you think you know. What is hip? If you're really hip, the passion is the show. You in a hip trip, maybe hipper than hip. What is hip?
This is what I wanted to say earlier, that my mom would, and all the women in my family, and even some of my cousins and their husbands, would all say the same thing. You should not brag about this. And I say, well, is it bragging, or am I emphasizing that it was important, and we took a lot of crap for saying it, and there's a lesson in how people broke my balls and told me I was all crazy for getting this thing. And then the president, who I'm not a big fan of either, this guy or the one before. They're just not my choices, okay? But whatever. I do my best to give them whatever support they need to get the job done, right? I'm trying to get them to get the job done. They are the goddamn president, right? So, this crap that there were no weapons of mass destruction. It's the effing New York Times. Now, who in Jesus Christ Almighty has to come back from the dead and testify? The goddamn New York Times giving it to George Bush that the weapons were there? They were there. Now, it's not perfect. The perfect weapons. These will not perfectly destroy the whole world. Shut up. The whole goddamn thing was a mess because we were attacked and we were flat-footed from Clinton into Bush. Clinton was aware of bin Laden. Yes, he might have had an operation pending. I don't know. It sounds that way. Sounds like there was an operation pending to get bin Laden, and he didn't because of who he was going to hit in addition to bin Laden. Who knows if killing bin Laden would have stopped 9/11? You don't even know that. It's a war. There's millions of people who love this idea of beating the crap out of the United States of America, number one. Israel, number two. Number three, they have their own way of life, and they would like you to live it, or they're going to come and make your life miserable. That's what's going on. Bob Bell. I hope Bob Bell is listening. We need you, Bob Bell.
When you decide to be something, you can be it.
I don't know why this doesn't apply. If it works for criminals and billionaires and whatever, I don't understand why so many people can't get with this. But it seems it's pretty obvious stuff, isn't it? I mean, how hard is this?
When you decide to be something, you can be it.
The Starcom Radio Network.
The Ed Till Show!
Is this difficult? I'm serious. Is it how difficult is that? People make it sound like it's crazy talk. Is that?
This is the Ed Till Show.
I just don't find it that bizarre to say the first thing you have to do is you gotta.
This is the Ed Till Show.
Right, I watch it now. I almost got hit with that one. But
when you decide to be something, you can be it. When you decide to be something, you can be it.
I don't know. What part of that am I missing that's a big deal? Why is that a big deal? You know, the cold weather is right around the corner.
Nassau's gone funky.
So I will see you in Nassau.
Nassau's gone so.
For sure, because I might have to get off the mainland. Honestly, with this thing jumping around the way it is, I'm thinking about maybe,
Nassau rock and Nassau roll. Nassau's got a whole lot of soul. The Ed Till Show. Feel all right.
All right.
Miniskirt.
That by improving care, we can also improve engagements in the community.
See, this is what I don't want. I don't want community medicine. I don't want. She's a very nice doctor, Trish Pearl. Love her. Johns Hopkins, close to my heart. Josh went to Johns Hopkins, and she's a professor of medicine. I'm all with you, but I am not with. No, we're not going to have community medicine. We're going the other way. It's micro medicine, and we're going to treat everybody as an individual, and we're different. As I said to someone the other day, I said, look, if you really like all this socialism, then all you got to do is go to South America. They love it also. There's a lot of places in the world where you can go with this community medicine, community food, community sanitation. It sounds nice, but it's not the way it works. That has not worked out. That has not worked out. The first two empires attempted before ours in the semi-modern world, they crumble. The only way to get anything to work is to make it that everybody has to work to get it.
New York, has got a lot of soul.
So she would say, don't brag now. I used to go over to my mom's house when I worked in Orlando, and I had worked in Chicago. and my parents retired. I said, well, what are you going to retire in New York and I'm in Chicago? I said, come to Chicago. It's the same crappy weather. I said, but, we'll be nearby. And she goes, all right, that's a good idea. Your father went. So we go out and get him in Chicago. And it's the same horrible weather as New York. All winter, you shut in. There's ice on the street. You fall. You break your neck. People have car accidents. Every delivery is late. The weather is always bad on Monday morning. It's always bad on the weekend.
Uncle Fry! Funky asshole.
Okay.
Funky asshole.
So,
Come on.
Funky asshole.
that's why.
Funky asshole.
Hey.
Funky asshole.
Sing it,
Funky
children.
asshole.
Ooh.
Funky asshole. Funky asshole.
It's so funky in here.
I wish we had put a team like this on the ground the day the first patient was diagnosed.
The Ed Dill Show. The Ed Dill Show.
I'm so glad to hear what you wish had only happened a few days ago.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
This goes on in everything. Ferguson, the Boston Marathon, all of this backpedaling, because you force all of this stuff to come out as fast as you can get it. You force it and you twist it out there and you make them say it, and then they get ahead of it, and now then you flip out when you force the results, and the results have to be qualified. Why do you force out? It's crazy.
It's the Ed Till Show.
Nurses received no hands-on training to deal with Ebola, and generally, they felt as though they weren't being supported.
Gene Ross is co-president of National...
Do you think? Do you think? Now, here's my guess. You say, well, Ed Till, you're crazy. You don't know. I will bet you $1 trillion on this. Somewhere, a worker was saying, hey, we weren't trained enough. Before we go in there, I just want you to know we really didn't train enough. Hey, we didn't train. And somebody, somewhere said, hey, we got to go. We got to go the way it is. The person's life is at stake. Do your best. This one. Oh, it's the worst thing you want to hear in an ambulance or in an operating room. Two places you don't want to hear. Well, do your best. Oh. What people don't understand, and maybe this is the thread that runs through, all of this fall from excellence in America. All of this decline of English grammar, communicative skills, personality management, weight management, attention span. They said, well, Ed, it's terrible. It was in the cereal that they ate. It was in the breast milk. It was in the drinking water. It was in the acid rain. It was in Love Canal. It has to do with the railroads when they built the railroads. It's cutting down the trees, Ed. Don't you know? It was a whole deforestation. I go, is it ever you and your behavior? I'm telling you, the earthquake, things were never the same. The river is down 2 inches. The lake is up. The tides are out. The temperatures are up. Miles per gallon are up. Millennials don't want to live in this city. Oh my God, is it true? Are they going to move out of New York? This is insane. Wouldn't this be hysterical if the millennials leave LA, they leave New York, they leave Philly, they leave Boston, they leave all these high-priced cities? Oh my God, so anybody who stays there would be like, hey, I think I can afford New York again. No way it would cycle like that. That'd be too good to be true. Millennials like, nah, yeah, so where are you going to go live? I'm going up to, Chicagoax. Chicagoax? What is that? Oh, it's upstate. What's it near? Montecito, Escuela. Where is that? Oh, it's upstate, Huh. what's the population up there? It's right near Logan, about 1,800. 1,800 people? Yeah, we figure like, we have one bodega, and this guy will own it. And then, we'll have one auto mechanic, and that chick will do it. And, we'll have a gay marriage, and nobody will have Ebola. I'm like, do you swear that you'll do that? Will you crowdfund that? Would you put up a Facebook page that promises that you'll do that? You'll do that for me? You would do that for me, Ed Till? I'm 58. If you do that, by the time I'm 68, things could be jumping like a motor. Would you do that? Oh, I forgot one thing. Would you take these crazy broads on CNN with you?
The economy the way it is.
Yeah. Would you take them? You're going to need some news out there or something. Yeah, swear to God. Will you sign this? Could I get it? I need to get it notarized.
You're lazy. You just stay in bed. You're lazy. Just stay in bed. You don't want no money. You don't want no bread. No.
It's the Ed Till Show.
You don't clutch no straw. No, no. If you're drowning, you don't clutch no straw.
That's true.
You don't want to live no more, cry no more.
I'm just thinking of ways to make things work out. Let me tell you what a good leader does. I've studied leadership my whole life, and I've really paid attention to this one thing. A good leader figures out which way people run when the lightning strikes. He starts going that way when he sees the skies get dark. The lightning comes, he's there, he's thinking, oh my God, he was right about that. Now that's how the Indians did it, or I should say the native North Americano. See, now what do you got? You're naming them after a continent. That's not very nice. You really got the ancestors of the Sioux and the Chickasaw and many others. Always loved the Sioux. Because that spelling, when you're a kid, you're like, whoa, S-I-O-U-X. Anything's possible with this crazy language.
Makes what James Risen has done all the more important. At a time when mainstream media has a lot on its mind and a lot to be ashamed of.
See, weapons of mass destruction is, to me, the crux of the whole problem. Nobody knew until you get evidence like you have today, undeniable evidence, because a partisan newspaper that hated the idea of them being there is admitting it's there. The adversarial system works. That's the adversarial system. The problem is nobody's got any patience. So you had to listen to, I told you. It's nonsense. It sows a bad seed. People are very negative about that.
Of this nation are eroding before our very eyes.
Uh-huh. Tell them.
Into this environment comes James Risen.
Ed Till. Oh, sorry.
We think we should put him on a pedestal.
Ed Till, yes. And put him on an edestal, by the way. And if you're with the Taliban, just be ready for the Taliban, because it's coming as well, my friend. But if you want to put Ed Till on an edestal, you go right ahead. I'll take my turn. I was right about weapons of mass destruction. I was right about Ebola. I've been right about everything. Now, it's getting boring. I'm going to have to throw one of these. All right. Let's see. Let's get one that I could definitely be wrong about. Let's see if I could be wrong. Guaranteed the Knicks will win the NBA championship. Guaranteed 2015 Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Not this year. This is the 2014. 1 year from now, the Cubs are sweeping the Oakland A's. That couldn't even happen, could it? Sweeping the Red Sox. Some guy used to play on the Red Sox, right? When the Red Sox beat the Yankees in that incredible, comeback World Series playoff championship game. And he works at a car dealership now, and he's selling that he's on the Red Sox. But he doesn't dress up in a uniform. So he's standing there, and you're like, well, how would I know what this guy looks like? I mean, he's not Derek Jeter. He's not Mickey Mantle. He's not Felipe Alou. I mean, there's like 5 or 10 guys you might know in baseball. I don't know, Alex Rodriguez, in a mini skirt, something. But the guy stands there, and he goes, come in and buy a car. And you look at it, and down the bottom of the screen says, so-and-so used to play for the Red Sox. And I'm like, well, then what's he doing in a polo shirt? He looks like a golfer. He looks like a guy. He looks like a guy buying the car. That's what. If they're going to do that, he should go. You know what? I used to be a famous a Red Sox, and now I'm buying a Kia. And then he would buy, and then he'd bring it back the next day, and he buys another one, and then he keeps coming, and he goes, I've fallen in love with this dealership. Every day I trade my car in, I buy it. Do something like that. But having him stand up and go, hey, I got some good lease deals. And you're like, who are you again? I was with the Red Sox. What did you do? What did you do? The uniforms? No, come on. I mean, what position did you play? Somebody says, hey, by the way, you put the uniform on for the commercial? Oh, I can't do that. What, you don't want to sell cars? You want to sell cars, you put on the uniform. I don't know if the Red Sox... You let my legal department worry about the First Amendment here. You just put on the uniform, Billy.
No symptoms on the flight, and that airplane was cleaned that night, and then again the next day. Nevertheless,
here we go.
The news that she was on a plane and not restricted in her travel.
It's silly, right? Because every report now, what's the point? Oh yes. By the way, do you see that whole section of America? Yes, we believe at this moment it's Ebola-free. Yeah, I know. Well, that's the well, we're just telling you right now. Most of America right now, for sure, is Ebola-free. Well, who said it wasn't? I'm from the CDC. I'm just here to tell you. I'm like, no one asked you. What kind of question is that? What do you say? I'm here to say it's officially the policy of this government that most of America has no sign of the Ebola. Okay, one more time. Will you knock this off? Sir, I'm just telling you, you are the media, aren't you? Yes? Well, that's the story. If you want your story for your media, if you're covering this for the media, are you covering this? I'm speaking in terms of the media. Yes, we're the media. Well, then I'd like to say to you that most of them, right now, I can say to you for sure, at least half of America, does not have Ebola in any way. I can safely say that 50% of the population has absolutely no Ebola virus at all. Zero. None. And they do not have to wear protective gear. I would like to also say that most of America right now, as far as we can tell, does not have to wear protective gear. So where did you learn public relations? You're scaring the living death. And I would like to say, oh my God, you're going to go on. Yes, I would like to say, right now there is no evidence that Ebola is airborne or has frequent flyer miles. Secret frequent flyer miles, you were trying to say? Shut up. Does your Obamacare cover Ebola? That's going to be the new one. We'd like to let America know if they choose to buy Ebola coverage, yes, then your suit and antibiotics and the Z-Pack, Z-Mac, Z-Smack, Z-lack of effort. Well, you guys have really got a good handle on it. Yes, I would like to say once again that for sure, not a lot of Americans have any It's down to not a lot of. Sir, this is very serious. I wish you would not. Somebody said, do you get depressed by covering all this news? I go, no, this is what gets me depressed right here. It's the Nixon tapes. Do you see this? Look, I'm reading. Look how big this, right. Look at this dead tree. How many dead trees to have a book about how bad Nixon was? Still, there's still new books about how bad. These were my formative years. I was 18 when this thing was being ripped to shreds, and you're all like, well, the Ebola plane didn't get there. Do you realize how much better than this we were supposed to be doing? You don't even have any idea. Oh, well, Ebola is on television. Read this book. You know what? You know why no one will read this book? Who in God's name could read all of this besides a clown like me or some guy on C-SPAN? It's me looking at C-SPAN, looking at the guy who wrote it, looking at Brian, looking at two other guys. And he's like, as I wrote on page 612, and I'm like, yes, you did. Exactly. That's where Nixon took the Jewish menorah and threw it out the window of the White House with expletives deleted, re-included. That's the name of this book. This is expletive deleted, re-included, just in case you didn't know how bad he was. They put all the expletives back in. Now you're like, forget it. It was like they had Susan Blair at The Exorcist. She got pea soup. Nixon. That's what Kissinger was like an exorcist. He would be like, Mr. President, I just want to win a Nobel Prize. I am from Germany. This is very proud for me to come. And Nixon's like, damn it, Henry. Damn you and your Jewish friends. Mr. President, I've tried to tell you many times, I am from Germany. Henry, it's you and your damn Jewish friend. And the guy, as I wrote on page 785, and you're like, whoa, I got it, 785. Yes, this is where Nixon says, I am not having the Supremes reunite at my inauguration. That is not the right time for the Supremes to come back together. I'm not saying I'm not in favor of don't hurry love. I've tried not to hurry love based on the Supremes' advice, but I can't exactly have them at the inauguration. Now get a hold of Elvis and make sure he takes a drug test. Like when the publisher said, you guys want to publish the Nixon tapes? You say like, what's in it? Did he kill anybody? I mean, what's left? What is left for this guy to put? Do you see that this book is bigger than my head? Look at this. This is insane. And they put a yellow cover on it, I think, because if you would have used blue or a dark color and it was this big, there would have been no blue left over. I think they had excess yellow in the warehouse. The book is yellow and white. Jesus God. The Nixon tapes, 1,600 pages of I'm even worse than you. And you say, well, Obama is having a tough time. This poor guy. I remember saying, I don't like this guy because he snuck in, and Hillary has paid her dues. Then they went, well, he's younger and hipper and maybe better for the country than Hillary. Maybe he's really going to unleash, Exactly, unload. He's going to unleash a new era of first it's Facebook, then it's him, and then it's, everything's, getting mellow. Everything's getting cool, man. And you're like, wake up, will you? Smell the smelling salts, little Susie. And you go, what? What are you talking about? What are you dreaming? What are you taking oxycodone? Did you go to Rush Limbaugh's house? Come on. Jesus Christ, got Lazarus to wake up. When are you going to wake up? One time. For once. Please. And you're like, all right, okay, all right. And then Obama's like, I see you don't like me so much anymore. What changed? I don't know. They said you didn't do anything. They said the economy's still bad. Is the economy still bad? Well, you know, Sasha and Malia will tell you that, presidents cannot single-handedly. All right, okay, so how's foreign policy? Jesus Christ, they're coming at us every which way.
Start getting the benefits of an AARP Medicare Complete plan insured through United Healthcare. We've been helping Medicare beneficiaries for over 30 years. We'll connect you with the right people and programs, offer smart ways to save, and give you the
Ed Till Show.
Say, what are you doing? It's like, well, could we have one of your theme songs on? It makes it easier for me to talk to you. Yes, Barack, what is it? Well, Michelle hasn't really been very supportive, and the girls have been overly supportive, and that's kind of emasculated me, and I was already kind of a softie. I mean, I wasn't exactly Mr. Street Cred. I told a guy once that if he didn't watch it, I was going to phone him in, and the guy took it as an idle threat, and that's about all I've done in the confrontation business. No, everybody wants me to confront. ISIS is trying to blow me up. Al-Qaeda's making a comeback. Everybody's on my ass. I mean, I don't understand. Don't they know who? Barack, take it easy. Take a sip of coffee. I can't drink. Yes, you can. Take a sip of coffee with the half and everything. All right. Now, does that feel a little better? All right, look. I do this on Fiverr for people, solve their thing. But you're the president. I feel like when my country needs me most, I should come and fix you up. Now, you ready to get fixed? Yes. Are you going to listen to advice? Yes. And are you going to go in there and let Michelle turn it all around and say, stand up and, be a black man and punch Ed Till in the face? No, I won't. All right, then. Because, that's what happened the last 3 times you and I met. I get all this grief and all this, that I'm messing with you. I'm trying to help you. I know that. I know you know it now because it's you and me one-on-one. But when you go out there with, the press corps, that they don't like you. They've been pretending. Don't say that. I'm saying it. They don't like you. The guy said you're the worst of all time of giving up information and leaking and this and that. That's not true. I said happy birthday to Ann Garrels and Cummings and all these girls that keep coming. I said, stop. Focus right here. Back to the method at hand, which is straightening you out. Well, Michelle loves that method soap. Will you please try to focus? You're President of the United States of America. All right, look, first things first. This Ebola thing. You had a meeting all day yesterday. I wake up this morning, where's the headline? Where is the consensus? Where's the magical phrase? Would you go in there and start asking everybody what they think? You cannot, that is not your job. Your job is to lead. You must lead them. Now, here's what you're going to do with Ebola. You're going to say that just the same way Nixon went to China, sometimes a guy like you, who's biracial, single-parent household, you have a brother, you love your dad, you have all these emotions. You could have just been on the Wonder Child, the Wonder Years show. You just, you got all that. But a guy like you say now, you realize now that a fellow like you has to do what's right for the country. And what's right for the country is that you do the opposite of what people expect you to do. What do people always expect you to do? They always expect, you got it. Nixon, they always expected him to be jacking somebody up and tapping somebody's phone, whatever. All of a sudden he goes to China. The Chinese don't trust us. Mao Zedong, right? They want to knock us off. But Nixon shows them that even somebody who doesn't like them can get along because he can be the opposite. This is your time to be the bizarro Superman. Do you remember the concept? Yeah, when you're a kid, you're like, oh my God, somebody the opposite of Superman. Nixon goes to China. He's the bizarro Nixon. You have to be the bizarro Obama.
One that don't make much sense. No, it don't. Come on, everybody.
So, on Ebola, you shut it down. Say, look, here's what I'm doing. I'm taking all the money, taking the troops back. Say that was the old Obama. Troops come home. Here's a check. It goes to the head of these crazy Liberia government types, whoever they are. Say, we're going to put a surveillance camera on you. We're going to watch you with the satellites. You are going to put medicine into people. You're going to put on your gear. You're going to wear an iWatch or some kind of Apple crap and whatever it is. But we're going to monitor you constantly. We're going to be watching what you do, who you...
know he's driving you crazy. Shut up. So pick up the freaking phone. It's the Ed Till Show.
855-GETTYLL. You disagree with me. So, his job is now to do the opposite of what people expect him to do. So that's the first thing. You're cutting a check to Liberia, Sierra Leone, whatever. Here's your money. Bill Gates is going over there. Everybody who talks about Africa is going over there. All the Pan-African leadership of the world is going to go over there, and everybody's going to help out. In America, these a few cases we have are going to be consolidated at what is going to become the state-of-the-art institute on Ebola. That's it. It's going to be named the Ebola Institute because for many, many years afterwards, other diseases are going to come along like Ebola, and people will always remember the Ebola. It's your first bad girlfriend, your first bad relationship. She winds up cracking up the car, she DUIs and kills a couple of your neighbors, and you don't know what to do with this, so it happens, and you have to learn. Lesson learned. It's always a nurse now. This is so unfair. She's right. They got a woman, a second one now. I don't get this. My guess is the guys are taking longer to put on their equipment. The guys are going to take 2 more minutes, and the women are rushing, and I don't know. I mean, something's up. 2 women? Was it only women are working on Ebola? A lot of guys work on Ebola. You see the news of these suits. The guy with the shorts on the other day, he did not get Ebola. The guy with the shorts. Remember the guy with the shorts? You're like, uh-oh, he's got shorts on. You're like... So what does that got to do with it? Well, he's on TV with those legs. But it turned out he's got no Ebola, so you can, I just have a bad feeling every time they go through the list. Vomit and diarrhea. I mean, these things do come flying out. I mean, how far back do you have to stand? And what do you do when these people throw up? I mean, what do you just empty the county? I mean, I don't know about you, but I've thrown up in my life. I'm been very familiar with what happens when you throw up, and it's not a pretty picture. I'll tell you that. It's in terms of containing the circumstances. Do you know what I mean? When it comes to the containing circumstances, it's not very containment oriented. It's not that kind of thing. It's not that kind of experience. So I don't know. It's like unplugged with the Black Sabbath. I don't want to unplug the Black Sabbath. What the hell am I going to do with that? That's nothing for me. Nothing in it for me. So you tell me what you want to do. I don't want it.